WKTI and WKTI-HD Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Here's Emmy Award winner, Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day and the busiest 60 minutes. It's Wednesday. The Wednesday Homer Hour. That means Rain Man. Caller number 5, 1-800-990-3776. Caller 5, 1-800-990-3776. And as we get closer to the end of June, which is the end of this competition, you got a great chance to win it because our leaders are only at 7. I don't believe we've had a champion less than 9 and maybe even 10.
I don't believe so. No, you've been saying it for weeks now. 7's not going to win. 7's not going to win.
I'm telling you, 7's not going to win. We got some. No, I think we got some pros. We have so many people calling in. That may be the difference. They're just not lucky enough to get in. But they often wait until June. The middle of June, the last couple, when we've had a 9 or a 10, but we will see. Caller 5, 1-800-990-3776. Pebble is right, I've said. 7's not going to win. We have a number at 7, or we had 4 or 5. Can't remember how many people. 1-800-990-3776. Caller 5, your chance at Rain Man. 15 questions, you get 2 minutes. And it's brought to you by Cousin Subs. They're so nice, even if you stink. You get the $25 gift card. And, yes, we had an O for a couple weeks ago. Didn't go as poorly as I thought it would. It's still bad. But the person automatically gets the $25 gift card, even if they get 0 or over. On the other hand, Cousin Subs, in addition to doing that each week, the winner of the competition, and it goes for 6 months, which will end the final Wednesday in the month of June, that person will win Cousin Subs for a year worth about $300. And if you are the leader or you're tied for the lead, then you cannot compete. So we have a number with 7 who cannot compete, and it's 4 or 5. I don't remember. Pebble keeps track.
It is 4.
It is
4.
4.
Tied with 7.
Also, another great sponsor of Rain Man is Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service for many years until I realized that's wrong. It's Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits, top-notch service, and been doing it well for over 50 years. That's how what's complicated to many isn't for them because they've been doing it so long and doing it well for so long. So they are now, appropriately, and granted a little late, Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service and doing it well for over 50 years. And a phone number to remember. All you got to remember is 783. 783. And you got it. Saganiac Planning, 262-783. Roger Maris, 6161.
That number again, 262-783-6161.
Jason Wilde still to come. Tim Van Vorn, Fox 6 Sports still to come. And they had OTAs in Green Bay, which organized team activity, which can change. And it seems year after year there's less and less that they're actually doing, but I will defer to Jason Wilde. That even if they don't do anything, there still may be some information that he is able to gather. All right, Rain Man, 15 questions. Bob in Tosa, our contestant. Bob, your Rain Man resume, please.
I think my best was 12.
Yeah.
I know it was. But
yeah, are you a former champion?
Season.
Have you ever won? I believe you have. Am I right?
I did. I think I had 8 when I won.
Okay. All right, so here we'll see if 7 lasts. Bob in Tosa with a history of 12, an impressive resume. The first question is the Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question about Marquette because Saganiac Planning has been such a great supporter of the school and the athletic teams. The Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. You ready to go?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go. True or false? Coach Al McGuire was selected in the NBA draft as a player. True or false?
True.
Correct. He had 55 rebounds in an NBA game. Name him.
Chamberlain.
Correct. NBA only player other than Wilt or Bill Russell with 42 rebounds in a game.
Nate Thurman.
Correct. How many walks does Jackson Churio have this season?
8.
Incorrect. Current NCAA champion in baseball.
LSU.
Incorrect. Current NCAA softball champion, 4 titles in a row.
Texas.
Incorrect. Head coach, football coach at Indiana.
Pass.
Who has the Brewers' best 353 batting average for one season?
Cecil Cooper.
Incorrect. Who has the Brewers' best 671 slugging percentage for a season?
Yelich.
Correct. Brewers' record for home runs in a season.
Prince Fielder.
No, number. Sorry.
52.
Incorrect. Who has the Brewers' best 141 RBIs in a season?
Oh, boy. Brian Braun.
Incorrect. Giannis with the most points in a season for him, 2,222. Within 100, the most by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in a Bucs season.
2,400.
Incorrect. Who has the Bucs record 782 free throw attempts in a season?
Giannis.
Correct. Who has the Bucs record 229 three-point field goals made in a season?
Ray Allen.
That is correct. Do we have time for the last question or not?
Time ran out.
Time ran out. Okay, let's see. 3. Was it 5? Or am I wrong here?
I have 5 as well.
Okay, 1, 2, and 3. The first 3 are correct.
Yep.
And then none, and then the last 2.
Yep.
I'll ask you this one, Bob. He has the second most ever Bucs three-point field goals in a season at 224. He plays for another team now. Name him. This amazed me.
This is for another team now. Dante?
No, but that would make sense. Pebble? No, it is. He's second most ever Bucs three-point field goals in a season at 224.
Malik Beasley?
Malik Beasley is a correct answer. All right. Giannis has the free throws. Giannis, 2,222 points. Kareem, 2,822. Because he never came out. Who has the most RBIs in the season for the Brewers?
Prince Fielder.
Prince Fielder is correct. Most home runs, 50.
Fielder again.
Yep. Well, I made mention. I made. I don't know. I feel like I hurt Bob, but he helped me out by not getting close to 7. Close enough. Yeah, it was the number. Yes, Christian Yelich has the slugging. Who has the Brewers' best batting average, 353?
Christian Yelich.
Paul Molitor, 1987. Head football coach at Indiana.
Kurt Signetti.
Yes. Current NCAA football champion, 4 titles in a row.
Football or
NCAA softball champion.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Remember last year?
Yep.
They got 9 Babe Ruths hitting. Current NCAA champion in baseball.
Tennessee.
How many walks does Jackson Churio have this season?
9?
I believe he's at 9. That's correct. And I do want to give Bob credit. I thought he might go perfect because this is a tough question. NBA only player other than Wilt or Bill Russell with 42 rebounds in a game. Yes, Nate Thurman. Wilt had 55 rebounds. And Al McGuire, 1951, was a 6th-round pick in the NBA, pick number 55. And that was a horrible selection by the Knicks, but then they just did that because his older brother was really good and he's in the Hall of Fame, and that's all you need to know. All right, Bob.
All right.
Feel like you should have done better?
Tough. Yeah, if I would have got lucky, I guess.
All right. Thanks for playing. 7 is still tops, and we have, about 4 weeks left?
Yep.
Well, I didn't.
All right, sounds good.
Were those tough, Pebble, or just that there were no Packers?
A couple of them were tough. I went to got the one he got, right? The Oscar Thurman.
Yes, I thought that was impossible. And certainly, if anybody listens to... Go ahead, Bob.
It was a guess. I mean, it was a educated guess.
It was a great guess. And there were no Packer questions really, so maybe that was that's.
Well, unless you follow softball and baseball for college.
Yeah, those are only two though.
Yeah, women. Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Thanks for trying, Bob. Something tells me we might hear Bob again before the end of June. And 7 is still the best. I could not believe. I should have had a Johnny Mathis question in there, but I didn't have time. Malik Beasley has the second most three-point field goals in a season in Bucks history.
Yeah, he didn't play that long in Milwaukee.
Yeah, Ray Allen 229, Beasley 224.
I think it would be like Middleton or something like that.
Yes, I'm trying to think. Michael Redd. A number of people.
Even J.J. Redick.
Yes. No, he sucked for the Bucks. He didn't want to play. And look at this. Giannis, most points in a season, 2,222. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 2,822. 600 more points. That tells you, one, what his average was, but it also tells you how much more he played than Giannis. I'd have to check the number of games. Prince Fielder, 141 RBIs. Prince Fielder has the record, but the most Brewer home runs ever is 50. And Paul Molitor, 353. Jason Wilde, next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Looks like we got a crash on 41 northbound, just north of Good Hope Road. Now, it's already backed up because of the construction, basically from Watertown Plank Road all the way up past Silver Spring. But you're back on the brakes from Appleton Avenue up past the accident scene at Good Hope Road. On the southbound side, delays from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Southbound 43 is still backing up from Capitol down past the Marquette down to the KK River. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, isolated showers with the low of 50. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower, a high of 68. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Another disappointing end to the season for the Bucks.
Three-quarter court heave, and that is how this season will end for the Bucks.
And now we head into another offseason full of rumors.
Do you think that you can still win that second championship here in Milwaukee?
I'm not going to do this. I wish I was still playing. I wish I was still competing and going back to Milwaukee.
What's going to happen with Giannis and the Bucks? All the latest Bucks news right here. 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the new ESPN Wisconsin app.
Drive into Memorial Day all month long at Cunis. Get the best savings of the year at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Cunis locations in Oak Creek and Greenfield. Get huge discounts on the Buick Envista and Envision SUVs or the rugged GMC Terrain and Sierra. Visit your local dealer website for one of our 10 pre-owned super specials. You won't find deals like this anywhere else. Plus, we have unbeatable service specials on brakes, tires, and oil changes.
I'm Brian Bohm, General Manager of Cunis of Oak Creek.
And I'm Bill Eater, General Manager of Cunis of Greenfield.
We would like to invite you to take advantage of these great monthly specials.
And remember that your vehicle will be covered by our exclusive No Fear lifetime powertrain warranty included with new and qualified pre-owned purchases.
Call or stop in today for your VIP appointment.
Drive into Memorial Day all month long at Cunis.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Ever notice how wine enthusiasts often speak a completely different language? And while that language may technically be English, to most people it's anything but. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we stock over 8,000 varieties of wine and speak many dialects of wine English to help everyone, from the wine novice to the master sommelier. So if you need an expert recommendation for wine, or maybe you know what you want and simply need help locating it, our experienced staff has got your back. No matter the budget, occasion, or your level of wine expertise, Discount Liquor will make you feel at home. Discount Liquor, unmatched selection, everyday low prices, a helpful staff, and 2 convenient locations. In Milwaukee on 51st and Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Main.
Discount Liquor.
Buying and selling a home can be a stressful process. Hey, it's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. The We Sell group at Keller Williams has a goal of making it stress-free for everyone. Their passion is people, their availability is unmatched, something I'm experiencing firsthand while I search for a lake home to enjoy Wisconsin summers even more. Rob and Nick are there every step of the way, not just for their sellers, but also to potential buyers and their agents to bring in as many strong offers as possible. Get started today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
Rain Man is brought to you by Cousin Subs. Skip the line and order online with a Cousin Subs mobile app and join the Cousins Club. Cousin Subs, they believe in better. This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Everybody needs information about the Green Bay Packers every day of the year from Jason Wilde. In fact, you just go to ESPN Wisconsin app and then you listen to everything he says. And it'll take some time, but you'll be Packer smart. Good evening, Jason.
Good evening, Steve. How are you?
I'm okay. How about yourself? How are you doing today?
Okay. Just okay.
Yeah, just okay.
Just okay.
Yeah. Okay is okay. Okay is fine. Okay is underrated. What's wrong with okay?
I just want to make sure that you always seem like you're living the dream, or you're great, and instead you're just okay. So I just want to make sure you're truly okay.
I'm definitely truly okay. Yes.
That's all I ask.
Had to do more furnace work today. That tired me out a little bit, but
wait, are you actually doing that?
No, I have a furnace guy.
Okay,
but I'm
good.
always there to assist him.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not annoying him?
No. I'm there to carry stuff, and my hope is that it quickens the process. So, they charge by the hour. So the more I help, maybe he'll charge me a little less. That's my theory on it.
It's not a bad theory. You see, you're such a smart, cheapskate guy. I love it.
I got no problem with that. And then, they're just these questions like, Jair, I like to know and be able to figure out what's going on, and I can't. So.
Yeah, well, he's not there to ask, right?
All right, well, but wait, we thought he was going to be there, or take us through just what you thought and now and what's going on and what.
Yeah, so I would start by saying that Xavier McKinney talked to us, and I thought he was very clear in the fact that everybody on the team wants him back. At the same time, he was also very clear that, Jair has to decide what's best for him.
All right, let me interject for a second. Did that give you the idea, as I have stated, because I'll admit I'm wrong, that part of the issue is whether or not he wants to come back? Or is it?
Yeah, no, I think so. Again, I have not talked to Jair, so I cannot say this with certainty.
Yeah.
I don't think the stumbling block is the issue of whether or not he wants to come back to the Packers or is comfortable being with the Packers again. Like, he likes Hafley, he likes Derek Ansley, he likes Ryan Downard, the three coaches he deals with the most. He loves McKinney. He loves Keyshawn Nixon. He gets along great with Carrington Valentine. If he is still bothered by, kind of the frustration that LaFleur let on about his lack of availability and the feeling in the building, as reported by multiple outlets, that there was frustration and questions about whether or not he was capable or willing to play through injury, and is he holding a grudge on that? Maybe. I can't speak to that. But I think this really comes down to money and respect. And I don't know what the Packers' offer is that's on the table, as Matt Schneidman of The Athletic reported. He didn't report what the offer was either, obviously. But this is a guy with a $16.15 million base salary that if his contract remained untouched and he was still on the roster, he would be guaranteed that salary after being on the roster for the opening week. He's a vested veteran. And so what I would presume to be the stumbling block here, and the reason why, whether it's Matt or Rob Domofsky or anyone else who's reported on this has hedged, is the fact that if Jair Alexander thinks too much of that $16.15 million is being shifted from this is what you're going to get to this is how much of that you will get if you stay healthy and play every week, and we're going to take, I've said this before, but let's say with the $16 million, let's say they're going to say, all right, we're going to make your base salary $6 million. And then you'll be guaranteed that when you're on the roster on the opening week. And then we're going to take the other $10 million and we're going to divide it by 17 weeks, right? Because there's 17 games. And every week that you are active, you will get 1/17 of that amount. So that is, let's see, 10 million divided by 17 is 588. Is that right? $588,000. It is $588,000 a week. So if he plays all 17 weeks, he would recoup all $10 million of that. But what are the odds of him doing that?
Not good.
Probably not great. So what he's trying to do is have more of that money be in the base salary and less of it be predicated on if he stays healthy. So if he feels like that's either not enough money financially or disrespectful, the amount that it is that would be in weekly roster bonus money, or they could structure it other ways too, right? Like they could put some of it in roster bonus every week and some of it into if you're chosen for the Pro Bowl, you earn $1 million of it back, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know how it's structured, but if he feels like that's disrespectful, maybe there's part of him that's like, well, then I'll just, I'm not going to, if I get roughly the same amount and I get a fresh start somewhere else, maybe that's better. But, I've seen the reporting that he wants to come back. I don't know that for certain from him, but it seems to me that the stumbling block is just how much does he have to give up and then try to re-earn back.
Now, and all the time we've discussed this, no. I think I'm good enough. I'm at $16 million. They release him past June 1st. They save money on the cap, which you've told us many times really doesn't mean anything in their situation. But
they still got to pay it they still are going to have that dead cap money. It's just spread over 2 years instead of hitting now and then in the future. But
so they release me, and now I'll go somewhere else. Somebody will.
They're not going to. He's not getting $16 million from anybody.
But he knows that, so they'll work out another deal, right? I mean, once he's released, no team is bound by any contract, are they?
Well, certainly teams are not bound by contracts because they cut guys all the time.
No, but I mean the new team. Like I don't know.
He would have if they cut him, they start from scratch.
Yeah. I mean, I just walk in. I'm Jair. You either pay me or cut me. This is easy. What am I missing?
Well, because I think he's smart enough, and his agent is smart enough to know that there is a point where maybe getting a little bit less than, and they have no idea, right? They don't know what the market would bear. They can try and do research on it, but until someone actually says, yeah, we'd sign you if you got cut, and we would pay you $10 million guaranteed this year, until somebody actually tells them that, they don't know. It's a gamble.
Yeah.
So, if I'm the thing that I would say, and I'm not saying I'm wired the same as Jair, but if I've been working out with McKinney all the time, and he's my friend, and I love being around this team, and yeah, it would have been nice if Matt LaFleur would have been more publicly supportive, but I really like the scheme. I think it's good for me. I had my first pick six since high school. I like the way Hafley talks to me. I like the respect I get. This is a pretty good situation.
All right.
Then I would say, then choose to stay. and then try to stay healthy.
But they got to give me enough that I couldn't do better somewhere else.
Correct. That's the $16.15 million question right there. But look, we also talked to Jaden Reed today, and Jaden Reed basically said, Drew Rosenhaus, his new agent, told him he was going to call the Packers and check in on, kind of where he stood, and that was planned before the draft, but he didn't call until after the draft, and he claims that even if he gets only 2 targets, he's fine with that. He used the word misinterpreted, that the meeting was not about his role on the team. He claimed that it was his agent's idea to make that call. Now, again, he can say all these things because Jaden Reed's a really smart dude. Like, he's smart enough to know that this didn't look good. And so, that's what agents are for. They're there to be the bad guys.
Well, and plus people would have told him, you get Drew Rosenhaus, it comes with some baggage in the way he kind of does things. None of us were surprised by what he did. If Reed was surprised, then that's on him, because then he didn't do his homework.
Yeah, but at the same, he said, "I'm not the type to care about targets. I really don't care about." I'm reading from our transcript. I could have 2 targets. If we win, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I look at things. Now, look, I admire that. I'm sure he wants that to be true. Then he said, "I'm a very unselfish person. When anybody falls, I try to be the first person around to pick them up. I try to pick up players when they've got their head down." So, that's just the kind of player I am. I believe that he is that type of player. I don't believe that when he gets 2 targets. What about when you get 2 targets and you lose? If we win, I don't care. Okay, well, what about when you lose? Also, I think it's important to point out, as I said directly to Jaden, but when you get more targets and you're more involved in the offense is better. He said, no doubt. And it's true. So here's the thing that bothers me. This was viewed, and I know, Chewy had his line about sounding like babies. I don't think it's unreasonable to want clarification on what your role is. But I don't have a problem with him wanting to know that, whether he did it on his own or whether Drew Rosenhaus did it at his behest or did it without him knowing about it. I don't care. Like, the fact that Rosenhaus put it out there through Adam Schefter, he miscalculated what the reaction was going to be. A lot of people didn't take it as a positive thing. I'm not saying it's a positive thing. I think it's a reasonable thing. But the bottom line is, the guys led them in receiving each of the last 2 years, but during the second half of last season, he had 11 catches and no touchdowns in the last 5 games. And then he suffered a dislocated shoulder that took 5 months to heal and included a partially torn labrum. So, in the playoff game. So, I don't have a problem with Jaden Reed having a little bit of selfishness. I want guys that want the damn ball. I don't want them to be jerks to their teammates about it. But if you're really satisfied with 2 targets when you lose, and you're just mad about losing, I don't know about that. It's great that you said I could have 2 targets, and if we win, I don't care. That's great. But I still think if you guys go on a 4-game winning streak and you have 2 targets in each of those 4 games, I don't believe you that you're fine.
I agree totally. And the answer everybody wants is, I got to get more open. I got to get open. If I got to do right. What I love about players, and this is, I get made fun of it, but one of the great things about being around these guys are the ones that get, I thought Jordan Love was fantastic today. That was my next question about his injury. Did he talk about the effect on his play last year?
He did some, but just to finish my thought on Reed, I want guys to say, and this is what I talk about with the girls all the time, control what you can control. It's such a cliche that I've heard for the last 30 years, but it's a cliche because it's absolutely true, right? You can't control who they drafted. You can't control whether Malik Willis has to start some games and he's not as good as Jordan Love. You can't control if Jordan Love sails a ball on you. You can control how many balls you dropped. You can control how open you get.
Yeah.
You can control how prepared you are with the playbook, and you can control your effort. And I don't think Jaden Reed has a problem with doing any of those things. So had he asked me, which he didn't, that's what I would have said. I said, look, I am unselfish. If we win, and that's the most important thing. But the most important thing individually is I have to do everything I can do to make sure that I'm open more, that I catch the ball when it's thrown to me. And if I do that, I don't give a blank who's lining up alongside me or who they drafted. Because when I'm doing that, I'm a really damn good football player.
Talking with Jason Woody. All right, now to the quarterback and his assessment of injuries last year and how it affected his play.
So he said what you would want him to say, right? Which is basically, yeah, look, it wasn't ideal, and it probably affected me, but I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to use it as an excuse. Like, again, I understand that there's this perception about me because of Rodgers that I'm Rodgers' guy, but one of the things that, and you and I have talked about this many times before, one of the things that I like about Jordan Love that I would tell Aaron Rodgers to his face, it would have been nice if he did more often, is he doesn't make excuses and he doesn't blame anybody but himself. And I think that, in this instance, when he was talking about the injuries, I thought it was really worthwhile that he basically said, look, man, like, I still need to play better. Like, if I'm out there, I'm going to be judged on how I play regardless. He acknowledged that maybe there were some things like his accuracy that were affected by the injury. And I think that's fair, right? Because footwork is a crucial piece of your accuracy. And if you're not stepping into the ball on your throws and you're basically, like, think about it as basketball, right? Like, if you're using Ray Allen's jump shot form consistently, you're going to shoot the ball really well. If you're doing crazy fadeaways and that's not fundamentally sound, you're not going to make as many shots. And so in his case, I really do think that it affected him some. But the bottom line is that, and this was what I thought was great, was when I asked him about what he needs to do, what more do you need to do to be better. I love the fact that immediately he talked about, the fact that they're here to go to a Super Bowl, and he needs to play at a higher level. And because I said, look, I don't want to compare you to the other guy. That's not fair to you, but meaning Rodgers. But he won a Super Bowl in his third year as a starter. And I thought, his answer of, it's not about me comparing myself to him, but at the same time, that is the goal. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. I'm definitely trying to be that guy to be able to take this team and lead them to that. I think when you talk about Aaron and what he did in his third year, I never try to compare because that's so hard to do. There's many different situations going on. But at the end of the day, I've been here going on year 6, going on my third year playing. Everything is right there in front of us for this and for this team. So I think that's him embracing the fact that, yeah, you don't have to say, oh, Rodgers went to a Super Bowl in his third year as a starter, so should you. He already expects that, and he demands that.
And you're thinking, why doesn't every player get it like he gets it, right?
Yeah, like, in fairness, like, and I've said this to him, like, after Ronica came and talked to Sydney's volleyball team, she is just personality personified. And that is not who Jordan Love is. And they're going to get married and live happily ever after. And maybe that's what makes them work, is that they're different people, right? One is bubbly and outgoing. And I mean, she actually joked about how she tries to rub off on him so he's better with the media, right? But he's not super engaging. He's not funny. He's not telling jokes, But I thought that was really honest, insightful self-evaluation and understanding what the goal is. And I dare I say I was proud of him for having that answer.
All right, I do have one question. I have something on Twitter that says, quote, I would say we won more games than we did the year before. So that's why I asked people, what is this step back? He can't. No, you can't say that. You can't be that far off.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the impetus behind that question was. That was the question that was asked immediately after my Super Bowl question.
But he should never answer that question like that.
Yeah,
or anything.
I'm not expecting perfection from him on answers, but yeah, look, they didn't. If I'd have been standing there, because I walked away to talk to Josh Jacobs, who had walked in. If I'd have been standing there, I would have said, you took a step back and you didn't go as far in the postseason. Yes. And your offense looked like garbage in the playoff game against the Super Bowl winners. Like, that to me is a step back. So, but again, that's look, this is not journalism 101, and I'm not here to criticize how other people do the job, because Lord knows they can criticize how I do my job. But
of all the things Jordan Love needs to know. No, of all the things Jordan Love needs to know, and I would assume he already knew, the regular season, when you're a good team and a good organization, is the preseason. The only season that matters is the postseason. To me, that's as basic as knowing you have to put shoes on and a helmet on before you go out on the field. I am, just like I'm incapable of him throwing that interception the first year, I am incapable of him answering anything, any question regarding a season as that, which he said. There's no question in which that's the answer.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I don't want to sound like Speaker Johnson.
Work on it. Work on it. No, you can't. You can't say that. No one on the team can say that.
Yeah, I don't like that answer either. I'll put it that way.
Somehow I'll find a way to blame LaFleur. All right, thanks, Jason.
Yes, you will. All right, so it's Tim Van Moren for me. It's nice to spend my day with him. All right, guys, take care. Be good.
He'll have an answer for it. All right. No, you can't. I would say we won more games than we did the year before, so that's why I asked people, what is a step back? Now, maybe you would think, if you'd answer it, we were just unlucky that we had to play Philly in the first game, and they were the best team. But, your state, your teams, your ESPN, the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Used to be Wisconsin On Demand. Now it's ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable. Homepage, easier and quicker live listening. Your shows at the touch of a fingertip. The ESPN Wisconsin app available on Apple and Android app stores. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today. Now, Tim Van Voren is not next, but very soon.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Backups along southbound 43 continue from about Burleigh all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River. Northbound is backed up out of the Marquette up past Keefe. We've got some delays along the bypass as well from Beloit Road down and around the Hale to Forest Home. Northbound 41, just a solid ride out from before Mayfair Road all the way up to Capitol Drive. Southbound very heavy as well from Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, isolated showers with a low of 50. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower with a high of 68. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins 2-foot party subs are back. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99. Feeds 5 to 8 people and requires 24-hour notice to order. And now you can complete your party by adding a party chip bag and a dozen chocolate chip cookies for just $4.99. Order today in store, online, or on the app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 4.75 to 16-ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay Lay's, Kettle Chips, or Red Gold Pretzels, 2 for $5. 8 to 16-ounce selected varieties Old Dutch Tortilla, Potato, or Kettle Chips, or Salsa, 2 for $5.50. 2.37 to 3.5-ounce selected varieties McCormick Grill Made Spices, 2 for $4. 14-ounce or 6-count selected varieties Häagen-Dazs Ice Cream or Bars, $3.99.
Ooh, pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, the Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. To book your next tee time, call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy the Bog.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
We have the Discount Liquor Twitter poll question up, and we'll have Pebble mention it in a second here. My answer is hell yes. So imagine what the question must be. American Place Casino. Homer, yep, I'm going to at least 5 times. Just a half hour south of Franklin. American Place Casino, just a half hour south of Franklin. Did I tell you it's just a half hour south of Franklin? Or if you want to be exact, it's possible it might be as long as 38 minutes. Since someone mentioned that to me. Yes, it could be as long as 38 minutes, but I'm comfortable saying for most people, American Place Casino is a half hour south of Franklin. Located in Lake County, Illinois, exciting table games, slot machines, great sports book, great food, and all kinds of shows. They have a number of comedy shows now. You just go to AmericanPlace.com. AmericanPlace.com, get all the comedy shows, and then get all the promotions. If you're not taking advantage of a promotion or two every time you're at American Place Casino, that's on you. AmericanPlace.com. Did I tell you? Just a half hour south of Franklin? American Place Casino. Our Discount Liquor Twitter poll question. What do you have, Pebble?
Our Discount Liquor Twitter poll question today on the Homer Hour, at the Homer Hour on Twitter, at ESPN Milwaukee on Twitter. You can find the question and take the poll. Will Edgerrin Cooper be the best or the second best defensive player on the Green Bay Packers this coming season? Right now, early on in the voting process, as I refresh the number of votes we have right now.
Hell yes.
Homer says hell yes. As of right now, 90% agree with Homer, say yes, 10% say no.
Yeah, you know the player that has the most pressure this season going in for the Green Bay Packers?
Lucas Van Ness.
Edgerrin Cooper, because of high expectations. If Edgerrin Cooper becomes what I and others think, Van Ness will be a much more insignificant issue. It won't matter as much if Cooper is as good as everybody believes he can. We'll have to get the Tim Van Vorn Scouting Bureau on how high he has Edgerrin Cooper and how he would answer the Discount Liquor Twitter poll question next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
No one should face MS alone. The National MS Society is here so that no one has to. There are nearly 1 million people in the United States with MS, with more than 20,000 of those living right here in Wisconsin. The National MS Society makes sure everyone has what they need to take back control from MS. We embrace and are committed to bringing our entire MS community together, representative of all the various dimensions of diversity. The National MS Society is here for every person with MS. We always will be, until we find a cure. To learn more, to donate, or offer your support, head to nationalmssociety.org.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
I do think it's legit to talk about Tyrese Halliburton as one of the best players in the NBA, one of the guys that should be vying for being a top 10 player in the sport. I think this postseason could be that coronation of sorts, just depending on how it finishes, but handling their business the way that they are, it's very reminiscent of what we saw in the Eastern Conference last year with the Boston Celtics. This is, in effect, a coming of age for Tyrese Halliburton. They got to the championship rounds last year only to be swept unceremoniously by the Boston Celtics. This year, they're on the right side of a late Game 3 in Game 1. And so I think when you have those moments with Tyrese Halliburton doing the choke sign, his team winning that game, and him being the catalyst, I ultimately think that leads to people falling in love with what they're seeing in his brand of basketball.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Walls. Right now, get 50% off your windows plus no interest and no payments for 12 months and a free entry door with your window purchase. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Buying and selling a home can be a stressful process. Hey, it's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. The We Sell group at Keller Williams has a goal of making it stress-free for everyone. Their passion is people. Their availability is unmatched, something I'm experiencing firsthand while I search for a lake home to enjoy Wisconsin summers even more. Rob and Nick are there every step of the way, not just for their sellers, but also to potential buyers and their agents to bring in as many strong offers as possible. Get started today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. The three most important letters in sports. Even better than those.
TVV.
It's Fox 6 Sports Director Tim Van Voren on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Tim Van Voren, Fox 6 Sports, three-time Wisconsin sportscaster of the year. I have a ton of questions to ask him, but I can't. I am now obsessing, just as I did when Jordan Love threw a horrible interception on first down in the playoff game, and I'll never understand that. To some question, I bet TV was there, Jordan Love is quoted as saying, I would say we won more games than we did the year before, so that's why I ask people, what is a step back? I'm incapable of thinking he said that or that doesn't understand why it's a step back. TVV, take it away.
Well, Homer, I was standing there today. The question was posed along the lines of, people say you took a step back. What's your response to that? I mean, Jordan Love is not one to usually go back at questioners, but wasn't digging the idea of a step back. Matt LaFleur earlier had answered a question along the same lines about he thinks there's a narrative out there that Love had gone the other way, and LaFleur said, well, he missed 3 games. That's why his statistics didn't stack up with the season. So clearly it's and that was again ahead of Love being asked the question. So there's an organizational belief that doubters or critics of Love in his second season are not necessarily going to be praised and held up for that. They're actually going to be refuted a little bit. That's what I took it as. Right. I thought it was Love saying, "Hey, we won more games," and then what's a step back? I didn't play as many games. We won more games. That's his response.
I know that's what's the word? Like, no player on that team should be capable of saying that without referencing or leading with, yeah, I understand what people we lost our first playoff game. It's all about the playoffs. Am I making this up, TVV, or is that not what every member of the Green Bay Packers should understand every year they play in Green Bay, especially given the last 25? What am I missing, or is he or any player? He might as well have said he plays for the Bears. You can't not only say it, you can't be incapable of understanding the premise upon which that occurs. Help me again.
I think you're right, Homer. I don't know how it reads. Standing there, I took it as a response to, his individual numbers, and he wasn't challenging the questioner. He was kind of like, well, what's your definition of a step back? It was along those lines. As it reads when you read it or you hear it,
nobody followed
not
up
having been the context.
Excuse me, Jordan. Let me help you out here. Nobody followed up. All right.
Nobody followed up at that point about that. You're exactly right. And he was asked, what are the goals? Goal is Super Bowl. That's always the Super Bowl. So, I don't think there's a lack of understanding there. And I agree with you. I would say that the Packers exceeded expectations in Jordan Love's first year as a starter, particularly when they got to the tail end of the season and the playoff win and another near playoff win.
Right.
And then because of that, raised the bar, which they failed to meet with expectations for his second season as a starter. So,
I can help him. You ask that question, and I'll be Jordan Love. Go ahead, TVV. Ask the question.
People say it was a step back in your second year as a starter. How do you respond to that?
Well, in the regular season, we won more games, and I understand it because it's the playoffs, but let's factor in, clearly we played an incredibly good team, Philly, in our first playoff game. So just make sure you factor that in and what we might have done if we had been able to play almost any other team. So I'm comfortable with every year. I like to win more regular season games because I think that will help us in the playoffs, which I understand is the most important part of the season. How'd I do? Pretty good
answer. That's pretty good answer. Yeah, pretty good answer. Yep, absolutely.
Right. I mean, and I say this because I think he's smart. Like, am I right? Like,
I think he is too. I really don't think he was in the context of the question and answer. I don't think he was deflecting at all. I don't think he's denying. I understand what you're saying about how it reads, and I think if he's asked it again, he'll be, maybe more prepared to say something along what you just said there. It didn't sound to me like he was, shirking from the responsibility of that at all.
No,
but
and then it goes.
You got to know what you're going to say.
Yeah, and plus, the year before was so special, and they were so close, right? I mean,
surprisingly so.
I mean, they
right?
not only beat Dallas, but I don't want to say they had the game won against San Francisco, but they played like they deserved to be there, and that Dallas game wasn't a fluke. That's how well they were
in position
playing.
To win. Yeah, they were certainly in position to win that game. But the 3 year, this is the third year of Jordan Love as a starter. This was really the target year, right?
I will defer to you, I guess.
Well, the first year, they exceeded expectations, and because they were so good against Dallas, who was so bad in that game, the things may have gotten a little skewed as we now look at the big picture. And they were legit in that second playoff game that year too. So you're thinking this team is on the come. Well,
right.
Last year, step back's probably the proper term. Now you get into this year, I think they feel very good. I think they feel good about these young players, even these second and third year players, not just rookies. All this, they're in position here. The thing that's changed now is the division's so much better.
Yep.
Now the other teams are so much better that you could be a good team and still be fighting uphill because you're losing so many games in your division, or you're not in an advantageous position going into the playoffs.
But even if they don't do as well in the playoffs or something, we're going to all know, led by the Tim Van Vorn Scouting Bureau, how good they are. Like, if they're better as a team, and like our Discount Liquor Twitter poll question, Pebble, with this one's important. The TVV answers this because this is way more important than any other vote.
Yeah, today's Discount Liquor Twitter poll question, TVV at the Homer Hour on Twitter, at ESPN Milwaukee on Twitter. Will Edgerrin Cooper be the best or the second best defensive player on the Green Bay Packers this season?
It's either or he'll be one of those two.
Yes, one of those two.
One of those two.
The best or the second best.
I would have said best, but I think McKinney could easily be the best.
I think McKinney's the key to the defense, so I will say Cooper will be the second best player on the defense, and that could make him a really good player and them a much better defense than we're expecting. And just to finish on the last subject, because I don't want to just let it go on hand, they weren't a better team last year. They won more games. They lost in their division. They won games against weak opposition. Through the eyeball test, they were not a better team last year than they were the second half of the previous season.
Yeah, they had no period like the level they played at, and I would emphasize the importance of the second game after beating Dallas, because if Dallas was a fluke, then they get waxed the next game, and you go, hey, it was down. But they proved that they were capable of beating anybody that year at that time.
100%.
And never. All right, what else did I forget? Because there are other things you could have brought up, but I obsessed, and I don't apologize for it. But anything else you want to mention, the Scouting Bureau picked up at the OTAs.
Did you talk about Cooper? Did you talk about Cooper's size with Jason Wilde? Much bigger.
Did you know
10 to 12? Oh, noticeably different. Noticeably bigger. Couldn't help but see muscle definition. Now, part of his appeal last year was how fast he was. You don't want to lose any of that speed, but he's bigger. No doubt about it.
Did you at last year go, Cooper needs to get bigger? I don't remember anybody saying that.
I don't either, because to me, he played like that tweener back that was around for a couple years in the NFL, that, linebacker / safety type guy. He was all over the field. He could drop in coverage. He could run forward. I thought he was a playmaker at that speed and weight.
So he better not lose what he had by gaining the weight, right?
Bingo. I think so. To be that effective, he'll be a good player, but to be that special, that's what made him so special last year. And you don't gain speed as you get longer into your career. If you're fast, play early.
Oh, I like that. That could be a T-shirt.
Same with Matthew Golden. If he's fast, get him on the field. He's not going to get faster in 3 years.
Pebble, you just got a recap of the highlights of TVV. Thanks. And I can guarantee, as good as the analysis is, he won't be as good as the last minute with TVV. Tim Van Vorn, Fox 6 Sports. The analysis next.
Well, we got trouble on northbound 41 at the off-ramp to Capitol Drive. We have the